Welcome to another Reading Reddit live stream highlights video. My name is Sarby. I go live every week reacting to videos or reacting to Reddit stories, and then I put them together in videos just like this one for you. This week I read 7 extremely juicy Reddit stories for my chat, and we reacted to them, had a blast. And I hope you guys enjoy it just as much as we did. Only if you enjoyed the video, hit the subscribe button or follow if you're on Spotify. And I hope to see you in a future live stream. Am I the a-hole for filing for divorce after discovering my husband's very conservative beliefs? We have a 26 female OP and a 27 male husband. I've been married to my husband for 2 years now. Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but recently I discovered something that has shaken me to the core. I've always been open-minded and quite liberal in my beliefs. I volunteer at a shelter for people experiencing homelessness and work at a center specialized in youth mental health. My husband, on the other hand, portrayed himself as similarly minded when we first met. We fell in love, got married, and I have been the primary breadwinner while he pursued various career interests, none of which have panned out so far, and he is currently unemployed. The trouble started when I stumbled upon some online activity that revealed he holds very conservative views on social and political issues. These were views he never expressed before, and when I confronted him about it, he admitted that he had deliberately hidden them from me because he knew how important my progressive values were to me. I asked him about the "women belong in the home" posts he made and asked him if he thought I would be better at home. He told me that yes, he thought I should be a housewife. This revelation has hit me hard. It's not just about the difference in beliefs itself, but the fact that he kept this fundamental aspect of himself hidden from me. I feel like I don't truly know him anymore, and I'm struggling to reconcile the person I thought I married with this new reality, especially because his views in this case are unrealistic, especially due to him not even having a job. The audacity, dude. I've always believed in open communication and honesty in a relationship, and now I feel betrayed. It's not just about the politics, it's about trust and respect. I am the one supporting us financially, and while that doesn't bother me inherently, the fact that he misled me about something so significant does. I filed for divorce and gave him the papers today. He pitched a fit and got really angry at me when I told him I was leaving him. He flew off the handle when I mentioned I was glad the prenup kept our finances separate. He told me I can't leave him like this and that I was an ass and a bitch for dumping him like this. That I promised to be with him for richer or poorer and in good times and bad. I feel a bit guilty about leaving him in this way, though I can't be with a person who thinks the way he does about women. Imagine sitting in the house or the place that you live in that your wife pays for and works hard every day so that you can live there nice and comfortably and be on your computer just "women belong in kitchens, women are just there to serve their man." Like, bro. Sure, OP made a promise that in sickness and health, in richer or poorer, that they would be married to this person. But also, the person they thought they were making those promises to isn't the actual person they were making the promises to, because that person lied to them saying they had the same beliefs when really they believed something else. She made those promises to you, but she made those promises to a version of you that doesn't exist, and therefore those promises don't exist. Am I the a-hole? Pregnant wife's sister offered to sleep with me. We have a 24 female wife, we have a 24 male OP, and we have a 21 female sister. My wife and I have been together for 3 years and married for about 6 months now. We found out that we were going to be parents, and we are both very excited. We told our families over the weekend, and everyone was happy for us. This morning, I got a text from my wife's sister saying that she knows that women can get emotionally and physically abusive and can put a stop to intimacy during pregnancy, and that she is willing to help me out anytime sexually or emotionally during and after the pregnancy. Obviously, I have no interest in anyone other than my wife, but how do I tell her what her sister offered? My wife has always been there for her sister, and they have always been super close. Her sister was the maid of honor at our wedding. I don't want my wife to lose that bond, and it would destroy her if she found out that her sister was willing to betray her like that. At the same time, her sister is a snake and is willing to ruin our marriage and the life of her soon-to-be nephew/niece for what I'm guessing is a childish crush on me. My first priority is my wife and unborn child, and anyone else can go to hell. How do I approach this situation? There is literally no good outcome. I can tell my wife tonight she will be absolutely devastated. I will always be there for her, and I know her parents will be on her side, but losing a 20-year bond with her own sibling while in such a vulnerable state sounds terrible. How can I possibly tell my wife that the sister she loved and looked after for so many years wanted to sleep with her husband while she was pregnant? If I don't tell her soon and tell her later, she may lose her trust in me, me. If I don't tell her at all, my wife will be close with someone who clearly does not care for her and could easily betray her again in the future. I don't see why he's making a post about this, because clearly the right decision is to tell her. Yeah, sure, it sucks to lose that close bond with a sibling, but also you want to know if your sibling's going behind your back trying to sleep with your husband. Also, I think the longer you push this off, the more likely it is for this story to potentially get twisted in some type of way. Like, the sister is probably seeing that you didn't receive her advances well and is probably like, oh no, how do I twist this to make you look like the bad guy in case this comes out? You should have told your wife the second you got those messages. Even if you have to play this off as like a, oh babe, is this you like testing me or something? Haha. Like, she needs to know about this, bro. Not the a-hole for the situation, but also you're the a-hole for not immediately knowing that you should just go to your wife. Am I the a-hole for telling my 14-year-old son I was not his biological father after my wife had an affair on me? We have a 37 male OP and a 36 female wife. I have been married to my wife for 10 years. When I started dating her, she was a single mom as her ex had fled the state after she got pregnant. My wife never wanted to tell her son that I was not his biological father. She wanted to wait till he was an adult in his 20s, and we decided on that when we married. I mean, already you're making the wrong move. Oh, hey, let's just lie to our kid until he's basically an adult trying to figure out his life, and then we'll tell him the truth. Not only is that a bad idea, but it's kind of on OP for agreeing to that really bad idea. I found out last week from one of my friends that my wife was having an affair. I confronted my wife about it. She initially denied it, but after I told her I had physical proof, I lied. She admitted to it. I asked her how long, and she said a few months. I then immediately went to my son and told him everything. I also told him I was not his biological father, that my wife has a tendency to go for these terrible men, and I made a mistake marrying her. My son was shocked and asked my wife if what I said was the truth. My wife said yes. My son then came over and hugged me and was crying, and I told him I will always consider him my son. So hold on. You get cheated on, and the way you decide to get back at her is by emotionally destroying her son, who is also, at this point, pretty much your son. Bro, what the hell are we doing? I'm now looking for a divorce lawyer, and my son has completely ignored his mom over the past week. She has tried to communicate with him many times, but he has ignored her every time. To be honest, I think it will really help me in the custody arrangements during the divorce, as my son's preference will be taken into account. My son just wants nothing to do with his mom right now. However, I do sometimes feel a bit guilty about it, but I then remember I am the one who is the victim. Chad, how do we feel? I'm trying to think, as a 14-year-old, to not only have the bomb drop that mom cheated on dad, but also dad isn't biologically my dad. I'm stuck because I don't think OP is the a-hole for actually telling the son the truth, but I think he's just the a-hole for thinking that it was a good idea to keep that truth from him in the beginning. And also maybe the delivery of it. I don't know if that's the time to break it to them. But also, is there really a good time to break that to them? I don't know. I think we're gonna have to look at the comments for this one, because I'm a little lost. He's not the victim here, that kid is. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, man. Like, everyone sucks except for this kid at this moment. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a crime for them to have lied to the son for this long, but I don't think this is when you drop that bombshell. Like, hey, I know your life is going to dramatically alter because your mom cheated on me and we're now getting a divorce, but hey, also, here's another life-altering fact about you. Telling your son that you are not his biological father as an FU to your wife would make you an a-hole, but informing him of that fact as the family dynamic is now changing for his own good would not make you an a-hole. Like other commenters said, it would come out in the divorce anyway. I don't know what your intention was, so I'm not going to make a judgment here. Yeah, but I would put more money on the fact that it was delivered as an FU to his wife because of the way it was delivered. He might try to die on the hill of it wasn't an FU to his wife, but I think it was. Am I the a-hole for not letting a pregnant woman have any of my birthday cake? My birthday was yesterday, and my husband invited his best friend Matt and his best friend's pregnant girlfriend Jane out for a barbecue. They live 2 houses down from us. It was only us, our 3 children, and them there, and their 3 kids. I spent about $90 on hamburger and hot dogs. Matt also showed up with 2 pounds of hamburger. While the guys cooked, I went swimming with all the kids in our pond. Jane sat near the guys on her phone. Around 5:30ish, the guys called the kids up for food. Me and my middle child, 9, weren't hungry yet, so we kept swimming. We spent a good 40 plus extra minutes in the pond on our tubes. I wasn't paying any attention to anything that was going on near the grill. Around 6:15ish is when my husband said that he was going to make a store run for beer. So I tell my son that we should probably go eat now. My husband and Matt are gone by the time we get up to the grill, so is Jane. Well, we get up to the grill and the food is gone. Literally everything. I call my husband and ask him where all the food is, and he said it should be on the grill. I tell him that everything is gone. There was a long pause before he goes, Jane asked if she could take some for leftovers, but I didn't think she would take all of it. He then tells me there was at least 8 burgers and 10 hot dogs left, as well as macaroni salad when he left for the store 10 minutes prior. I tell him to call Matt and see where the F all the food is. He does. He then calls me back and says that Matt claims Jane only took a few and that they had already been eaten. But my oldest son, 13, straight up tells me he saw Jane walk off our property carrying the entire dish. One of those extra large tinfoil barbecue dishes. Anyways, I'm pissed at this point. Me and my son hadn't eaten anything. My husband is also pissed, but he just grabbed me and my son something from the store instead of making a huge fuss. I don't really blame him. Him and Matt work together, so it is what it is. But anyways, much to my surprise, Jane and her kids come back over 45 minutes later and ask if they can have some of my cake. I tell Jane that her kids can, but she can't. She asks why, and I said, I'm pretty sure you've eaten plenty considering you took off with my entire barbecue dinner before me and my son could eat anything. She tried arguing that my husband told her she could have it, that half of it was hers because they brought 2 pounds of burger meat and that she didn't realize me and my kid hadn't eaten. She was beside the grill the entire time. I just shrugged my shoulders and walked away. She tells her kids, let's go, and they leave without cake. Now I'm feeling like I may be the a-hole. No one has said anything, but I know there's tension. So the fact that she's pregnant really doesn't have anything to do with this. It's just, am I the a-hole for not letting a woman have any of my birthday cake? If you go to like a barbecue and you bring food to that is like payment for that person hosting the barbecue. And sure, maybe you can leave with a couple leftovers, but taking pretty much all the food is wild. I don't really understand the hill that you're dying on being that she can't eat your birthday cake. I think the hill that you should die on is kicking them out because they kind of disrespected you at your own house. Like the fact that she left taking all your food and then came back for more, I would have been like, that is just disrespectful to me as the homeowner and I don't want you at my house. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend when she tested me? When I was 16 years old, my girlfriend broke up with me. I was pathetic and begged her to change her mind. I thought I was in love and couldn't be without her. I was an idiot. I'm 25 now and I have promised myself I will never do that again. I have had several relationships and a few hookups, and when they ended, I am sad, but not weak. I had been with my girlfriend for a year and a half. We met at a social function for people in our line of work. We hit it off and started seeing each other more often, then made it exclusive. Recently, we have been talking about moving in together. Our city is expensive and we thought we could save more money. Her apartment is bigger than mine, but I own mine, so we were working stuff out. Last weekend, out of nowhere, she says that we are moving too fast. Okay, no problem. We didn't make any plans that can't be undone yet. Nope. She said that she wanted to break up because she wasn't sure I was all in. I said, okay. Then she freaked out. Apparently, it was a test to see if I would fight for her. Yeah, I don't do that anymore, and I do not appreciate mind games. So I told her that I would box up anything of hers that might be in my place and she could pick it up. She accused me of being a cold-hearted a-hole that was only using her for sex. I wasn't. I thought we had a future. I wasn't ready to propose or anything, but I thought she was the one. We had met each other's families and she had spent last Christmas with us. My parents and sister love her. I loved her. My mom and dad called to ask me what was going on and I told them. They think I'm being stubborn. My little sister says I'm being a complete jerk for not forgiving my ex. I just remember crying myself to sleep over a girl and I refused to do it again. Maybe you guys will disagree, but I think not the a-hole. I agree with him. I've been the guy that has begged for somebody to keep me around, and I have also gotten to a point where I am never doing that again. Everybody should have the mindset, as long as you are actually a catch, of I'm the fucking shit. If you don't want to be with me, that's your loss. If a girl tested me like this, I would get the ick so fast. That's kind of disgusting. You shouldn't have to test me to be secure that I care about you. Maybe OP isn't as good as they're saying, but anybody who feels the need to do a test like that either is insecure in themselves or that relationship isn't as secure as it should be. At no point should you think that you need to do a fake breakup to see if that person will fight for you. And if you think that's a good idea, I also think you are not ready to be in a relationship. It's just a very childish way to conduct yourself in a relationship. Am I the a-hole because I told my ex-husband's son the truth about why we divorced and how he came to be? We have a 45 female OP and a 46 male husband, or ex-husband. I used to be married to D. We were together for 4 years and married for 5 years from age 18 to 27. I thought the relationship was going well until I discovered D was having an active affair with C, who was 20 25 at the time and is now 43 female. During that time, I collected evidence, consulted a divorce lawyer, and presented D with divorce papers. D did not protest and left me for C as she was pregnant and I had trouble conceiving. As the divorce proceeded, I discovered I was pregnant. Through my moral judgment, I decided to keep the baby and have primary custody as D was enamored with his new fling with C. I would give birth to a healthy baby boy, M, and C would give birth to N. I wish they would have just used names, making this as hard as possible for us to track. I will try to do my best to help you guys track it. My ex-husband would initially deny paternity test of my child, but with a DNA test, it is proven he is the father. The boys would grow up to become friends and have a solid relationship despite the tense nature of what transpired between my ex-husband and me. The boys are now 17 and entering their senior year of high school. N, the child of the ex-husband and the new wife, was over last weekend and seemed different, as his mood was sour and he seemed upset. Sitting down with him, I asked what was wrong, and though he appeared apprehensive, he opened up to me about some relationship problems he had been going through. His girlfriend of 2 years had cheated on him, and he was having trouble dealing with the drawbacks of it. He asked me whether or not two individuals could reconcile after infidelity. I was honest with him and said that it depended on the individuals, though it was often better if both parties moved on, as trust between the two had been broken and was not easily repaired. He seemed to take the answer in stride, but then asked me a question I wasn't sure I was prepared for. Is that what happened between you and my father? I confirmed that it had, which is why D and I divorced, and that his father cheated on me with his mother, which resulted in his birth. He seemed conflicted and responded, "So it's all been a lie?" I asked him about that statement, and apparently his father said that I cheated on him. I corrected him on that point and stated the reason for our divorce was infidelity on his father's part, and I had evidence for it. Damn! So he's been lying to this kid for 17 years? That is kind of a bombshell. He thanked me for the conversation and said he needed to go home now as it was getting late. I wished him safe travels and thought nothing else of it until a few hours later when I received an angry phone call from the new wife of the ex-husband, blasting me for why she argued with her son. He went home to have it out with his father over the situation, but he wasn't home yet and couldn't wait. He had a very contentious verbal spat with the ex-husband's new wife, calling her some unpleasant names I would not repeat. She is calling me a homewrecker, the irony in that statement, and that I'm an a-hole for poisoning her son's mind. Edit to clarify and answer some common questions I've seen. 1. My son and the son of my ex-husband and his new wife know they are half-brothers from a young age. I share custody with ex-husband as he would have my kid on the weekends and some holidays. I edited to clarify the relationship as some were confused about how the son of my ex-husband and his new wife didn't know he had a brother, but he did. I never discussed with the son of my ex-husband and his new wife in explicit detail why I and his father didn't work out, as it only came up in that particular conversation. I explained it to my son at one point when he entered high school, and I asked him his opinion on myself dating at this point as he is getting older, but has a relationship with his father to an extent, and he seemed fine with it. The only thing that happened here that was wrong was that the husband lied to that kid, telling him that OP was the one that cheated. Could OP have set the record straight in an environment that included the ex-husband and his new wife there, and in a way that the son didn't blow up on his parents the way that he did? Yes, but OP didn't owe them that. The core of this situation is the fact that they lied and didn't own up to their mistakes. This could have all been avoided if they had just told the truth. They're suffering from the repercussions of their actions, not the repercussions of OP's conversation. Am I the a-hole for telling my boyfriend if he doesn't want to have sex with me, then we need to break up? If you've gotten this far in the video, that probably means you're enjoying it. Even if you didn't, I appreciate you sitting through this far and giving my video that I worked hard on a chance. But if you did enjoy, this is just your friendly reminder to hit that subscribe button so you can see more of these videos and maybe come out to a future live stream. And on top of that, I would push you to join our Discord channel. That's where you can know when I'm going to go live, when my YouTube videos are going to drop, and who knows, maybe make a couple friends along the way. That is in the link in the description. Hope to see you there. We have a male 26 boyfriend and a female 21 OP. My boyfriend and I have been dating for a year or so, just a bit more. Our entire relationship has been very good, and I love him so much. This issue has started within the last 4 months. During the beginning of our relationship, our sex life was great. The sex was good. the amount we had it, all of that. I genuinely never foresaw this becoming a problem. However, around the beginning of February, my boyfriend got really sick with what I think was COVID, but he never got tested for it. He's fine now, but at the time he probably lost 10 pounds just from the amount he was throwing up. He was sick for weeks. Obviously, during that time, we never had sex, but we've literally never had sex again since then. Even on our 1-year anniversary, which was in March, he was better, but no sex. Amazing dinner, so much fun afterwards, but literally 0 sex. I was slightly confused, but I let it go. After that, every single time I tried to initiate with him, he rejected me. At first, it was a gentle rejection that didn't hurt me too much, and then it just became stop, not right now, with 0 effort or communication as to why. I haven't physically changed since the beginning of our relationship. He always told me how attractive I am, and I never had issues before him. I don't think it's me, but I don't know. It's hard not to think it's me after literally months of rejection. He also doesn't even try with me anymore. He still kisses me, even makes out with me, but he will never ever go further. I've tried so hard to ask him why, ask him if he's okay, but he won't communicate. I've tried to offer other kinds of things besides sex, but he doesn't want that either. Eventually last week, after yet another rejection, I broke down crying. I asked him why he was being this way with me. I asked him if he wasn't attracted to me anymore or if he was getting it elsewhere. He told me all of this was wrong and he seemed very apologetic, but yet again, no explanation as to why he's being like this. I told him I was so frustrated with him, the situation, sexually, like I just don't get it. He offered no insight, just a bunch of kisses, and I'm sorry. I told him the next morning that we needed to rethink our relationship if he can't even tell me why he won't have sex with me. I told him if he doesn't want me anymore, then he needed to break up with me and stop playing the long game and making me break up with him. He was so offended and honestly angry with me. He ended up calling me unfair and immature and slammed the door on his way out. We haven't talked much since then, but he's apologized and been adamant that he doesn't want to break up. I just don't know what to do. Am I the a-hole for giving him that ultimatum? Would you be able to do this? The biggest problem is his lack of communication. You're not even breaking up with him because he won't have sex with you. You're breaking up with him because he won't communicate about a really important part to any relationship and why there's a problem in that aspect of the relationship. I don't think you're immature or unfair for communicating that your needs aren't being met and you need a reasonable explanation to why he's not able to meet those needs, and him not giving you that explanation is a deal breaker. I think that's completely fair. I don't think that's immature at all. That's extremely mature, and I think you kind of have to stand your ground. You either tell me right now what is going on here or we're done. Also, it's a little gaslighty to be like, you're unfair, immature, and like leave the conversation instead of trying, even if you don't know, like trying to figure out what the hell is going on. If you're looking for more messy Reddit stories, click the link at the top of the description or click one of the videos popping up on the screen right now. The members of our community love these videos, and I'm sure you will too.